back. Left arm extends forwards, deep in breath here. Out breath. Sweep the arm around so that the armpit comes close to the shin, and then clasp hands. Or, alternatively, take the left hand to the right wrist and push the arms away as you exhale and take the head down towards the floor. As with the previous side, if you can't catch hands, it's no big deal. Gradually you will be able to. Take the hands to the floor, take the arm as low down the shin as possible, and then use the arms to encourage the chest and trunk to move forwards. The restriction here is not only in the shoulders for some of us, it's in the groin too, it's in the lower back. But by virtue of the practice of the posture, you're going to overcome these little difficulties and tightnesses and stiffnesses. Deep in breath, lift up. Catch hold of the left foot. Full in breath for refreshed, renewed, vital energy. And the out breath, begin to stretch and extend. One of the details you should be looking for here is no matter where you catch, whether it's the calf, whether it's the foot, or whether it's that kind of cute little hand lock, that the thigh stays as close to the chest wall as possible. This promotes a natural, fully articulate spine. The arms, as I said earlier, are used to lift the chest. The breath enlivens the posture. The contraction of the lower abdomen enables you to sit up higher. It's that deep compression, that toning of the abdominal muscles that allows and promotes the lift and life from the spine and the chest. One more in breath. Out breath, release. Catch hold of both feet once more. Draw the heels as close to the perineum as possible, and then open the feet wide as you would a book. And then use the arms once more to elevate and lift the trunk. One more in breath. And now, as before, release. 2 fingers, neck of the big toe. Catch tight and hard. The toes pull on the fingers with as much authority as the fingers pull on the toes. Draw the spine in. And this time, let the head fall back. Deep in breath. Head centers. Out breath. Extend the arms forwards. Out breath. Release. Bend the knees into the chest. And lie down. Give yourself a gentle little massage at this point. Rock backwards and forwards. Just gently pulling the legs into the chest. And then slightly side to side. This not only refreshes the legs, but takes any aches out of the lower back and softens the nerves of the back of the body through the compression of the weight of the body against the ground. On an in-breath, interlock the fingers and push the palms away and stretch the arms backwards. On an out-breath, elevate the legs. Now at this point, what you're trying to do is to keep the lumbar vertebrae away from the floor. The stretch in the arms increases the expansion of the upper lung, and the pressure of the sacrum into the floor frees up the diaphragm and roots the lower abdomen powerfully. take a deep in-breath. On your next out-breath, lower the left leg towards the floor, keeping the right leg elevated. Both legs are straight and strong. Synchronize the movement exactly with the speed of your breath. Next in-breath, raise the left leg up. Out-breath, lower the right leg. It's surprising. It's actually more difficult to keep one leg elevated than it is two. And this is because of the isolation of the abdominal muscles. One side of the abdominal wall is in contraction, and the other side is in stretch. On your next in-breath, raise both legs back up. Deep in-breath here. Out-breath, extend the arms to the sides of the hips, flat on the floor. This next sequence involves moving breath by breath, very similar to the earlier sequences that we did, except now, of course, we are flat on the floor. Pay attention and most certainly watch this sequence first, as it is important that you under no circumstances turn your head once the body is elevated. So get a feel for the sequence before you begin practice. On your next in-breath, pushing the hands flat into the floor, elevate the body. On the out-breath, slowly lower the feet behind the head, bring the toes to the floor if you can. Following in-breath, raise the legs back up. Out-breath, lower just the spine to the floor. On the next in-breath, extend the legs towards the floor, but don't let them touch. Squeeze the legs together tight here and breathe out. Next in-breath, lift. Out-breath, feet behind the head. In-breath, lift. Out-breath, lower. In-breath, extend the feet towards the floor. Out-breath, squeeze the legs together tight. In-breath, once more. Out-breath, feet behind the head. Trying to take them towards the floor, but let the breath carry the legs. Don't let the legs slam into the floor. Next in-breath, lift back up. Out-breath, lower. In-breath, feet towards the floor once more. Out-breath, squeeze them together tight. Push the hands into the floor for firm support. In-breath, lift. And now release the hands. Take the thumbs, draw them inwards, and arch the back so that the sacrum sits on the thumbs. The legs stay perpendicular, the back is arched, and the chest is open. Spend a little while here, breathing easily and deeply. On your next in-breath, bend the left leg and drop it over your hands towards the floor. Keep the right leg as straight and as strong as you possibly can. If you can't get your foot to the floor, then take it where it will go. But just make sure that you're arching your back to the limit and opening the chest to the maximum. On an out-breath, the left leg raises back up. On an in-breath, you take the right leg over. Stay in the posture for 2 or 3 breaths. And of course, in your own practice, you can manage as many of these as you like. You can do 6 or 7 repetitions, or just 1. One more in-breath. And on your next out-breath, bend both legs and drop both feet silently over the hands. Use the hands to help you to lift the pelvis. Keep the chest broad, the abdomen long, the diaphragm free and open, with the chest pressed firmly against the chin. push the feet hard into the floor, and pay attention that even though you can't see them, try and feel that the feet are parallel with each other. This increases your internal awareness. One more in-breath. Out-breath, release the hands, bring them back to the floor, extend the legs out straight in front of you. Take a deep breath here. Push the heels hard into the floor, squeeze the feet together, take the palms of the hands and push them hard into the floor, and at the same time try and make space between the sacrum and the lumbar vertebrae. Press the whole of the body as hard as you can down into the ground, as if you're trying to make a mold of yourself in wet clay. Now take a deep in-breath here. On your out-breath, release. Let the feet fall apart. Let the palms face the sky. Close your eyes and let your breath begin to dissolve. No longer any need for any deep, resonant, vibrant breath. The body is now about to enter a state of suspended animation. Once you've established this connection between the dissolution of the weight of the body into the ground and the evaporation of the face of the body up to the sky, bring your mind's eye, your innate intelligence, into your face. Feel the coolness of the breath as it begins to seep into the nasal chambers. Notice the influence this breath has upon the eyes, how the backs of the eyes seem to soften and sink. Really notice that sense of the heaviness of the backs of the eyes and how the backs of the eyes seem to soften and melt. Maintaining this inner awareness. Feel how the scalp begins to lift and lighten away from the skull. How the temples release and open. The small muscles at the corners of the cheeks, the sides of the nose, and the lips likewise soften and relax. Draw your mind's eye into your jaw. Feel the looseness of the jawbone, relaxing and releasing. Now bring your mind's eye down to your feet. Feel both feet simultaneously and each part of the foot individually. Feel the lightness and space between the toes. Feel the delicacy of the bones of the toes. And let your mind move up into the bridge of the foot. Feel how this lifts. Feel how the sole of the foot softens. And feel the negative tension that releases from the soles of the feet. You can increase this discharge simply by holding your attention upon the soles of the feet. And now let your mind move higher through the ankles, ankle joints open, up through the shins, the calf muscles releasing their grip upon the shin bones. The back of the knee sinks into the ground. The inner and outer knees broaden. The kneecap lightens and lifts towards the sky, creating space throughout the knee joint. The thigh muscles fall away from the thigh bone most evidently. This has a direct impact upon the hips. The pelvis broadens, the hip joints soften, open, and the lower back nestles into the ground. And now begin to bring your mind into the base of the spine and move up sequentially, vertebra by vertebra, through the 5 lumbar vertebrae first, allowing and encouraging each one to realign itself naturally and passively. The abdomen sinks, the diaphragm releases and opens, and your breathing becomes even more delicate, even more refined. Now move through into the thoracic spine. 12 vertebrae here. Feel each one. The rib cage opens and softens. The breastbone lightens and lifts. The shoulder blades separate. And the shoulders themselves sink heavily into the ground. Now let your mind wander down through the arms. Through the upper arm muscles first. Down through the inner elbow, the forearm. Let your mind touch and meet every facet of the 8 carpal bones in the wrist before moving into the palm of the hand, where you will notice a powerful, deep, strong pulse. The fingertips tingle as your awareness touches and meets the terminus of your nervous system. The whole of your body is now bathed in the golden glow of your awareness. Relaxed, softened, released. Energy simply flows unimpeded from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head. Let yourself just rest here, feeling. Your whole body is now in a suspended state of animation. Your mind is soft, the energy is cool, full. It is therefore very important that you awaken yourself delicately, tenderly, and with great sensitivity. Very gently, very gradually. Just move one finger or one toe and notice the impact that this has upon the whole of your body-mind. Realizing the depth of the impact of even the most delicate movement, gradually begin to move the toes, the fingers, articulate the wrists and ankles, then squeeze one cheek of your bottom after the other into the ground. Feel how this liberates and opens the spine. And then take your hands, interlock the fingers, and stretch back to your fullest. And then curl up into a little ball on your right hand side. Open your eyes and just rest there until you feel the desire to come up. Well, there you are. I hope you enjoyed your introduction to yoga for weight loss. The secret to practice is regularity. The more often you practice, the quicker the benefits will come. It is much better to practice for 10-15 minutes a day than it is to practice 1 hour once a week. The other important factor is that you're doing it for yourself, for your own enjoyment and for your own well-being. Thank you.